Good morning. You're welcome to today's newspaper review with Eghosa-Osawe Jr. We have a couple of newspapers to review this hour. The first we have on our desk here is the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust has a lot of interesting captures that is of great national interest. On the board faces of the Daily Trust newspaper, it said 2027 fresh debate over Tinubu's qualification. 2027 fresh debate over Tinubu qualification. We have other minor captures here. See, bandit key 8 family members, 4 others in Sokoto. Bandit keys 8 family members, 4 others in Sokoto. We also have other ones here. Those are the far end of the Daily Trust, which says Abuja infrastructure booms, pushes up rent. Abuja infrastructure booms, pushes up rent. Um, this one has to do with daily trust economy. So daily trust economist to FG convert gains to structural transformations. I think they are advising the president there or the executive. This one has to do with it said Nigeria finishes seven, miss Glasgow 2027 medal target. Okay, I think they set the target for themselves and they missed it. And this other one is recapitalization. Nicom cleared 43 issuance firm. That has to do with finance. This other one has to do. It says woman murdered over alleged witchcraft in Bauchi. Woman murdered over alleged witchcraft in Bauchi. We'll have to look at issues as it comes, the qualification of the president as far as the educational qualification is concerned. The renewed debate over President Bola Tinubu qualification for 2027 presidential election should not be understood less as simple documentation dispute and more as a high-stake political, legal, and public perception issue. In Nigeria, electoral environment questions around candidate eligibility often becomes powerful. Political tools become political tools because they touch on three sensitive area: constitutional compliance, transparency, and legitimacy. The controversy has a potential influence political narrative ahead of 2027, even if its legal consequences remain uncertain. Let us look at the area where the qualification, where this document actually, let's look at the legal dimension of this document. The legal dimension of this document, qualification and documentation. You will see that they say the central question is whether any alleged gap is in educational records amounts to constitutional failure. Those are just the legal terms and the lawyers will come in. You see, under Nigeria Constitution, presidential candidate must meet certain requirements, including educational qualifications. That is just so normal. He said the legal debate usually focus on key things. He said does the candidate possess the required educational standard? Submit a document satisfied electoral requirement. That is submitted document. Does it satisfy electoral requirement? Any inconsistency? Is there any inconsistency in the record? Is significant enough to affect eligibility? From all this legal perspective, courts generally focus on evidence and constitutional interpretation, not political argument. Therefore, the decision and the decisive factors would not simply be public suspicion, but whether a legal challenge can demonstrate that constitutional requirements were not met. That has to do with the legal terms. But let's look at the political dimension of the document that the president has failed to submit. The timing in political significant. Yeah, the timing very significant. As Nigeria approaches another electoral cycle, Opposition parties are searching for issues that can weaken the credibility of incumbent administration. Qualification controversies are politically attractive because they allow opponents to frame around arguments about integrity, accountability, opponents in public office. For this ruling party, the strategic response is likely to be uh, defend the president eligibility, argue that the previous legal processes have already addressed similar concerns, shift attention towards governance and achievement and political issues. Therefore, the debate is not only about documents, it is also about political narrative and control. That is the political dimension. Another dimension that we also look into these things is the public perception. The public perception, the legitimacy question. Yeah, the public perception in the modern in the modern politics, legal victory does not always end public debate. A leader can satisfy legal requirements, but still faces questions from sections of public about transparency. This creates whether analysts called legitimacy challenge. The difference between legally qualified and being widely trusted. For President Tinubu, the political risk is that repeated controversies may reinforce existing criticisms among opponents, even if they do not produce a legal barrier. The government challenges is therefore not only legal defense but also maintain public confidence. So these are the public opinion. These are what is going to come out in the public space as days go by. So let's also look at the opposition strategy. The opposition strategy, strength and limitation of the opposition. You said the opposition can use this. The opposition can use this argument that Nigeria deserves a greater transparency from political leaders, which is a valid, very, very valid point. However, there are limitations. Election outcome are really determined by one controversy alone. Nigerian voters traditionally weigh multiple factors, include economic conditions, inflation and purchasing power, employment opportunity, insecurity, corruption concern, and quality of public service. A qualification debate becomes electorally powerful only if it connects with wider dissatisfaction. What is the ruling government actually doing? The APC government strategy. The ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) is likely to present the matter as one, an attempt to distract from the government performance, is repeated opposition argument, a legal matter already addressed through existing institution. The government's strongest defense will likely depends on the demonstrating economic improvement, infrastructural achievement, security progress, and policy credibility. In election, incumbents are usually judged less by old controversies and more by their record in office. Let us now look at a bigger question. Beyond President Tinubu personally, the debate raises a broader issue about Nigerian democracy. How much information should citizens have about those seeking the highest office? A mutual democratic system requires both stringent adherence to the constitution, strong standard of conspiracy beyond the minimum legal requirement. The debate therefore reflects a wider public demand for accountability from political leaders. I think these are just the things that we're going to be facing in the days ahead as far as this political issues that concerns the academic qualification of our president is concerned, Nigeria is a country where a lot of things will actually go. You say the Tinubu qualification debate is best viewed as a battle over credibility rather uh, than only eligibility. Legally, the question will be decided through constitutional interpretation and evidence. Politically, however, it is a contest over public trust, opposition strategy, and the ability of the government to convince Nigerians that its legitimacy is based not only on electoral victory but also on transparency and performance. The real deciding factor in 2027 may not be the controversy itself, but whether Nigeria sees as a part of a larger pattern of leadership concern or a political distraction from the issue that affects their daily lives. These are the things that Nigeria will be facing in the coming days.